and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce the start of the second day of our free online conference. New conference run by New Economy Media in partnership with University of Blockchain and Investing. As you remember, yesterday we started with the general questions of understanding the blockchain technology and market. We moved to crypto projects and related companies, how to make them efficient and successful. Next, we explained different types of specific tokens, non-fungible tokens, and how they can be used. And the last but not the least question was about the most important thing on the crypto market. What is happening on the crypto market today, and where does it move, and what to expect in the future? Today, we continue our deep dive into the crypto universe. Probably one of the crucial points is how to deal with financial transactions, how to integrate it with crypto. The second stream will be about crypto mining developers. We will talk to, of course, experts from crypto mining world, where they share their opinion and insights. We're going to talk about legal also today, and we will finish this day with another important questions, explaining how to invest on this depressing crypto market. It's going to be interesting, guys. You should definitely participate. Before we proceed, I would like to attract your attention to one of the goals of this online conference. If you are still struggling with knowing nothing about blockchain, then come and check links in the chat and on our website to our educational resources on blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. We have prepared these courses for you guys. So within less than $50, you will have access to all recordings of this conference for 4 days of conference as the first introduction for you into the crypto world. And those interested in deeper knowledge can join our extended package with more study courses and use cases from the real-life blockchain projects. I also would love to remind that we're having a flash mob over here, and all you need to do is to hold your hands like this. Let me show you on my hands like this, and to take a picture of your hands and post it in Instagram, in Facebook, or in Twitter with the hashtag CryptoStrong and tag there 3 your friends. Let's show our support, guys. Everybody twist your hands. Now take pictures, and I will like each of you. I promise you, in my Telegram, I will follow the hashtag. Again, hashtag CryptoStrong. Today we will start with the topic, how crypto renew modern finance. Before we will start our discussion and speeches, I would love to present our sponsor for this information stream, Astra. Astra International Mining Pool, responsible mining with a focus on transparency and sustainability. Member shares never expired. 100% reinvestment on equipment. Before we turn to our speakers, I would like also to invite everybody to our chat. Please type your city, where you in now. By the way, I'm now in Tokyo and almost midnight here. So I would love to know where you guys from. And if you have any questions for our speakers, kindly type them and I will ask our speakers. So now, let's turn to our speakers. For today, they are Austin Kim, the COO of Crypterium, and Vladislav Ponomarev, CBDO of Crypterium Innovations. Pleased to have you gentlemen here.
Nice to be here, Christina.
Thank you so much.
No.
So let's start with self-presentation, I believe. And let's proceed to Austin.
Hey guys. So thank you, Christina. Christina gave me quite a wide berth, so a quick introduction of myself, and maybe if Christina's got some key questions, she can throw them at me. But quick introduction, I'm answering Christina's question. I'm in London today. If we'd have done this on Friday, I was in Beijing, and the week before I was in New York, so you just happened to catch me in London today. I am, as Christina said, the COO of Crypterium. Crypterium is a what we like to call ourselves a crypto bank. Legally, we can't call ourselves a bank, and if anyone's interested why, I can explain that later. But so we can't call ourselves a bank legally, but we are planning and doing everything that you can do with, let's say, traditional currency with cryptocurrency. And prior to that, I've run many companies, including companies in Australia, Czech Republic, and for about 7 years, I was running a large insurance group called Renaissance out in Russia. So that's a quick introduction from me, Christina.
Okay, so next, Vladislav.
Yeah, I have a few words to add to Austin. I will not explain what Crypterium is. However, we have a branch named Crypterium Innovations, which is aimed to create an ecosystem for all these crypto banking purposes. And maybe we'll explain it a bit later. So, and I'm responsible for a new product to appear and go live. I'm the one who is looking after what our customers say and trying to make our products as close to our customers as possible. Yeah, so that's a short summary on me.
Great. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I didn't introduce myself, I suppose. Did I?
Nope.
I think I did.
No.
Okay, so my name is Christina, obviously. And yeah, I am a crypto blogger and a trader. And I'm the head of investor relationship department in Platinum Ltd. So sorry for the late introduction, but I was really excited. So maybe we should start with the first question, gentlemen. You were building a crypto bank. Why do you think people need it actually?
Shall I take this one, Vladislav?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So let me maybe go back 10 years. So I'm sure the viewers today are familiar with the creation of Bitcoin and how it was created. The general concept was to find a new type of monetization, a new type of money that was not restricted by governments and national boundaries and all of the other international regulations that surround money. Money is actually an incredibly difficult thing to work with. I mean, if you try, for example, in the UK to put £1,000 in your bank account, they ask you, where did you get it from? And look for evidence. And you try and send money from, say, from Russia to the UK. It's not an easy process. It's very complicated. So cryptocurrency was created as a concept to sort of break down those barriers. But it's taken a very long time for it to really start to be understood. So probably 3 years ago, very few people understood even what Bitcoin was, but now practically everybody's heard of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is just one of thousands of particular types of currency. So what it is for is a new, fairer version of a monetary financial system where people can send and pay and transact in a new form of currency that is not restricted by all the various boundaries that stop somebody working today. So I'll just give you one example. If you are I'm choosing Mexican here for no reason other than it came to the top of my head, a Mexican migrant, and you're working in the USA, and you want to send money back to your family in Mexico, it's not an easy thing to do. You put it through the bank account. First of all, they probably can't get a bank account. And secondly, even if they could get a bank account, it's complicated. So they go to a company like Western Union. Western Union say, no problem, we can do this for you, and we'll charge you 10%. Now, this person's working very hard and suddenly gets paid 10%, and then somebody has to join a big queue and all sorts of problems. They're the type of things that cryptocurrency was being created for, and that's what the world has been crying out for. And there's been many versions of trying to break down these systems, but nothing has been even close to what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency can achieve. Effectively, it's nothing more than a dot on a computer system dotted around the world. My apologies.
It's okay.
And for that reason, we're going to create a whole new way of doing finance around the world, and that's why we call ourselves a bank. It's not just about paying; it's about everything to do with money.
And why do you think crypto will be used as a payment method?
Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's cheaper. Sorry, I'm just switching my phone off so that I don't have that problem again. First of all, it's cheaper, it's faster. So, for example, if you send money today from my bank account to your bank account, you'll wait 2 days to get it. 2 days, probably. If you're lucky, it might take 4 or 5 days, depending on the systems we work. I will have to. You said you're in. Did you say you were in Japan? So I'm going to have to convert it into yen, and there's all sorts of costs associated with that. If I sent you a digital currency, I can do that from my mobile phone, and you will get it on your mobile phone within seconds, potentially seconds. So the whole system is just more efficient. The other problem with the banking industry is I have to do a conversion. I have to do various other factors. And there's probably 10 or 15 different steps in any payment that we don't really understand as average people. But there's all sorts of steps. And in every single step, someone takes a small fee. Someone takes a small transaction cost. We can eliminate all that. The system becomes fair and is open to everybody. So the money systems today are incredibly inefficient. And digitalization of a token or currency is really the only way to break that type of barrier.
Yeah. And let me see if we have any questions from the chat. Guys, come on, be active. We have 2 gentlemen over here waiting for your questions. And I promise you will not have such an opportunity in future, for sure. So what features do you really have, like already really have, like the built features already created?
Okay, so are you talking now specifically about Crypterium, or really where are we sitting in the industry? I mean, I can answer it from both perspectives.
You're mostly welcome.
Okay, so from an industry, let me start with an industry perspective.
Sure.
The industry is fighting against an existing industry that has been built up over several hundreds of years. Now, obviously there's a very vested interest of banks and Visa and MasterCard to try and not fight against cryptocurrency, but to protect what they've got. And we have to really, right now, we have to merge a new world and an old world together. And it's not an easy thing to do, to merge 2 worlds together when one is distrustful of the other. And quite rightly so. If you're a Visa and MasterCard, right now you're thinking, if this digital currency thing really takes off, what's the purpose of Visa and MasterCard? The same with Western Union and banks. And so they are naturally distrustful. And when anybody is distrustful, they put up barriers and they put up blockages that make things difficult. So right now the industry is finding solutions around that. So we are playing with inside an existing set of rules that have been built up over 40 or 50 years. And we have to work inside that. You can't work outside that. And the more we work outside of that, the more people are distrustful of it. So right now, the industry is moving a little bit slower, I think, than everybody was hoping it would move. There are many companies out there purporting that they will break down all these barriers and make it very simple. But it's not a simple process. I promise you, it's not a simple process. Just doing one agreement with Visa can take 9 months of negotiation. It's not that Visa are being particularly difficult. It's just that's how long it takes. So where is Crypterium? Crypterium has a complete set of features. I'll let Vladislav talk about the features that he focuses on. Right now, my side of the equation is more focused on the payments aspect, and Vladislav has got a much wider remit on other sides. But what we can do, I can send to you, for example, Christina, from my mobile phone, a cryptocurrency, and you would receive it within 2 seconds in your mobile phone. So I'm not going to send you any, but just
okay.
I could also send money directly to your bank account. So from my crypto wallet, I could convert a Bitcoin through my wallet into your bank account. That can be done instantly. When I say instantly, the transaction takes place instantly, but this is where we start to merge the new world and the old world. We can do the conversion and it will end up in your bank account in dollars or yen or whatever you asked for. But now we need to work with the old banking system rails. You've got a bank account, an old-fashioned bank account. And for us to get money to your old-fashioned bank account, we need to work on those old-fashioned rails. I like to think of it like a road. You know, you've got a road and it's got all of these old cars which are still requiring petrol and diesel, etc. And the crypto world hasn't really got any cars yet to work on that road. So we're now still working on those roads. We're starting to build the cars that can work on those roads. But also, we have ability to buy products through our app. So, for example, you could buy you could top up your Skype, for example, if you wanted to do that, or you could buy a gaming token for, say, the company's stream. And then within, I would say, 8 weeks, we will then also be able to do the same type of features, but now with a dedicated payment card. So what that means is you can turn your cryptocurrency that you've got in your wallet and put it on a dedicated payment card and use that payment card in the current world that we understand it, which means Visa and MasterCard terminals. So what that means is let's say within 8 weeks, you will be able to go into Starbucks and use your cryptocurrency to buy a coffee. Right now, it's very, very difficult anywhere in the world to do that, and we are very close to achieving that goal. We're only weeks away.
Okay, I believe we have one question from the chat, and Vladislav, if you would like to add something.
Yes, please.
You are welcome to
yes,
add, and then I will.
Yeah, I would like to add to Austin's words that besides only payment function, in fact, what are we meeting in our everyday work is that banks and banking in general is now not only about payments. It's something that brings a real value to people. So just try to imagine what you are usually doing with your bank. So you are not only making payments, you are keeping money there, you are just taking credits, you are transferring money, you are issuing your insurance, you are taking your cashbacks, and so on and so forth. And today, a bank typically is a central point for all your financial flows. And what are we trying to do at Crypterium Innovations is that we are building the verticals for banking to just make your shift from a classical banking to a crypto one as smooth as possible. Meaning that once you will get up in the morning and then you will be able to do everything you get used to in a real world, but with crypto. And at Innovations, so we test several concepts right now. And we are building the verticals for conversions, for transfers, for loans, and some business-to-business things. And one of our projects was already launched. It's in InstaChange, and you can already try it. Of course, nothing is perfect, but still it's a very good concept to see how it's working, and soon it will appear in Crypterium app as well. Yeah, so that's what we are doing, and we are trying to make the usage of crypto as easy as you will do in your local country with dollar, euro, yen, or whatever other currency.
Thank you, Vladislav. Thank you for such an answer. And before we proceed to the question, I would like to attract your attention to one of the goals of this online conference. We want to help to explain people how this new world works, where it's heading, and where it will be like, how it will look in next years. We soon all have to study how to live in this brave new world, and just like we needed to understand how internet works approximately 25 years ago. If you are still struggling with knowing nothing about blockchain, then come and check links in the chat and on our website for these educational resources on blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. We prepared these courses for you guys. I hope you will like it, and you can buy it only for $50 US. So the question from the chat is, when do you think there will be widespread adoption of crypto?
Thank you, Christina. I will take this one, Vladislav. Unfortunately, Christina, I think you're where I only have a limited time today. Unfortunately, my diary is very packed, but I would like to take this question if you don't mind. So
Sure.
I would like to go back in time and refer to a period when QR codes were being introduced in Asia. Now, if you're in Japan, I'm sure you're very familiar with WeChat and Alipay. Now,
Sure.
WeChat and Alipay are, let's say, Chinese creations. WeChat and Alipay are using a QR solution. Now, QR payments outside China are very, very few and far between. Just different technologies went down different paths. So, for example, in Europe, it's very much what we call chip and pin, where you can just tap your phone and pay that way. But in Asia, they went down the QR path. Now, the first QR payment in Asia started to appear about 10 years ago. Today, Alipay and WeChat combined make up 91% of all retail non-cash transactions. 91%. That means the banks, Visa, MasterCard, have only 9% between them. If you go through China, as I was in Beijing last week, and you'll see a street trader who's selling, I don't know, corn on the cob or something very basic, they have a QR reader. You know, they have a QR code on the screen because the QR system is two-way. You can either just have a QR code or you can actually have a reader. It doesn't matter. Either way it works. So practically every payment is now a QR payment. And that was in the space of 10 years. They removed the need for the banks in that equation. They removed the need for Visa, MasterCard, UnionPay, etc. Now, I think it's going to be exactly the same in the next 10 years for cryptocurrency as a whole. When you combine the concept of a simple payment transaction like a QR code with a standardized currency that the entire world can accept, and Bitcoin is, let's say, the de facto currency today, but it could be any other currency. I'm not saying Bitcoin is going to be the only currency. It's not, quite clearly. But just think of it that I can use a QR payment solution. If I use the QR payment solution, I don't need Visa and MasterCard. Visa and MasterCard currently charge the average merchant 2–2.5%, maybe as much as 5–6%, depending on the nature of the business. I can remove that out of the equation. Can you imagine how much money is removed from the equation? So one of the biggest problems is the chicken and egg scenario. The merchant says, how many users have you got using the currency? And the users say, well, how many merchants have you got? And it's a very difficult thing to fix. But once you start to apply very simple technologies that are already incredibly successful, and you apply that with a currency that can be accepted everywhere, and as provided that currency can be converted into, let's say, a more usable currency in that current environment, it will start to take off quite quickly. So what will happen is, first of all, people will expect that they can take it in dollar or a yen. So they don't mind receiving Bitcoin, but they need to immediately convert it into dollar and yen because there's too much fluctuation in the price of the token. But the more people accept it, the less price fluctuation there will be, because the reason why there's so much price fluctuation is it's not used for anything other than investment purposes. So once it starts to get used for things other than investment purposes, and it starts to become a real world transaction, those price fluctuations will disappear. And people will say, I don't need to convert it now. There's only, let's say, a 1% move on a daily basis, which can happen with the euro or the dollar or the pound. So I think the technology you see is already there to remove the need for the existing banking roads, as I've talked about. QR readers have already built a new road system that no one's really using. And now we have a tokenized logic that enables us to completely change that. And you don't have to just tokenize Bitcoin. You can tokenize anything. You could tokenize a share. You can tokenize all sorts of things. So I really do believe that we're just at the starting point. Companies like Crypterium are really paving these new roads and filling them with the cars that are required. And once it starts to get adopted, really do not be surprised if the speed of change is so dramatic that companies that we couldn't consider to be leaders disappear almost overnight because they have no role to play. If the China experience was repeated in the USA, the impact on global finance will be so significant, we just won't be able to predict the impact. So I personally believe we're really at the starting gate, but the speed that we will run, it won't be a marathon. It is going to be a sprint. It really is going to be a sprint.
Thank you, Austin, for this valuable information. And just one quick question, just for fun. Richard Branson or John McAfee, who would be a better president?
Definitely from Richard Branson.
Brands for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Austin. And I believe goodbye. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.
So quickly.
Okay. The next question is, what are you going to release in 2019?
Well, in 2019, as I told it, we are focusing on releasing few of our beta products that will help our customers to test all these verticals that we are building for them. So we are collecting the feedback from all of them, and it's really valuable. So one of our services that was already launched is named InstaChange, and it was already on air for 3 weeks from this moment. We got a lot of really valuable feedback, and even launched the poll amongst our users, who gave us a lot of good advice as to what they would like to see in this product. The next one that will come will be a loan solution. So I will not disclose too much information for the moment, but it will be something really useful for our customers, and it will be really with a good tweaks and easy to use. Also, we are building a few business-to-business solutions, which will appear, I hope, one in December and another one in mid-January. That will help to make acceptability of crypto in typical e-commerce. So that's it will be easy to use solution for an e-commerce website to accept crypto and get it, start accepting it in a regular way, like you do, for example, with your PayPal account.
I see. Thank you so much. Maybe you can add something for those questions that we discussed with Austin, like
yeah, sure.
Why do you think crypto will be used as a payment method in future?
In fact, what we see now is that current banking system has made a huge evolution since the first banks that appeared with this real bags with gold coins stored in a cell, till the modern mobile banking and online banking solutions that citizens of big cities got used to. But it's more about working with the design of how the banking system looks like. It's something that's that cares more about user experience and customer experience, but not with the underlying principles of the bank. That's what Austin was saying about, but I would like also to stress it. The banking system, the current banking system, is really slow. It's really slow and expensive. And with blockchain, which appeared just a few years, the world has already changed. It was a silent revolution, in fact, and you may learn from the news feeds that a lot of banks are really looking into moving from the current ABS systems to blockchain-based ones, because it's also cost efficient for them. But what we expect to appear in coming time, maybe even next year, is that we will see the new types of value distribution throughout the world, because right now you don't see any boundaries. Of course, governments don't like this, and they would like to regulate this, and we will see for sure certain implications on these money flows. But still, the world has already become significantly more transparent than it was maybe 5 years ago. And I hope that with our solutions, we will make this new transparent world to appear as soon as possible. That's what we aim to.
Thank you for your work. Thank you. And I would like to remind that the sponsor of this stream is Astra International Mining Pool, responsible mining with a focus on transparency and sustainability. Members' shares never expire, 100% reinvestment on equipment. And we have one more question from the chat, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We just mentioned some banks, and what you say about the fact that banks are against of using crypto. Do they want to rule all the money?
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. It would be really strange from their part, yes, if they would like to lose the control over the main source of incomes. However, if we just try to take it serious, banks really big institutions with a lot of people employed and a lot of processes installed inside. And they simply cannot move to a new technology, a new world as fast as new coming companies. That's why for companies that appeared a few years ago, it's significantly easier to build on the absolutely new grounds, at the same time keeping the frames of typical banking. When, for example, a Citibank or Deutsche Bank will take years to move from the current business model to a new one. That's why they would like to resist. But there are some market players that understand the necessity to be in this way. That's why they start becoming more open and providing services to different crypto projects. They start opening.
Like Sberbank, right?
Oh, not sure. Not sure. I know
I just heard I heard that Mr. Graf, he said he's open for blockchain and he is actually ready to implement blockchain in 2 weeks.
I propose you to try to open an account for a company dealing with crypto in Sberbank, okay. And I will see how it goes. But
by the way, I'm so sorry. By the way, guys, Sberbank is the third biggest bank, and it's the Russian government. I believe 51% of shareholders is government, right? Belong to government in Russia. Just to let you know. Yep.
Yeah, and but there are indeed a lot of financial institutions that try to adapt to this fast-changing world, and they start creating on which services they can provide to crypto companies, because it's really difficult to create a new thing. When you try to reinvent the world that you got used to, it's like back some 10, 20, 30 years ago, there were typing machines, that a lot of people used to print their documents on. There were no computers. And a lot of producers, they were trying just to change the design with typing machine or invent a new paper for it, or invent new ink. But when a personal computer appeared, it changed everything. And you see that the world became significantly a better place. That's what is happening now with the blockchain, in fact. And financial institutions that understand this, they will have their place in this new world. And the old ones, I'm afraid they will lose the market shares if they don't adapt.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Vladislav. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for all your answers. They were extremely, extremely extended. And thank you guys for being with us. I hope you learned something new and interesting. The next stream is in 10 minutes, and we will talk about crypto mining develops. We will talk to experts from crypto mining world, where they share their opinion and insights. So it's going to be interesting. Hope you will join us in 10 minutes. And let's do can you do this? Let's support blockchain. And guys, do not forget, just remember, take a picture and put the hashtag. So yeah, don't forget to put another cup of tea or wine, and let's see you shortly. Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Keep us in line. We build the strongest mining company in the world. tell us that it's impossible to earn money in honest ways. We have made a clear system where you can check every single Bitcoin exchange. Consider our solutions easy. We will invest 100% of your stock to buy equipment. Question the reliability of mining investment. We are ready to buy your share at any moment. Take our equipment. We are building mining farms all over the world and have an insurance fund. That way sudden losses won't affect our incomes. Think you decide nothing? We are building an active community where every opinion matters. Take your part in leading it by speaking up and giving your vote. Debate with us. We don't have offshores. Our public contract can be changed only if you wanted to. Criticize us. We have the cheapest equipment on the market, and the daily fee would cost you 14 cents US dollars terahash per second. Try to find an alternative? You'll be surprised. There is none.
would like to welcome all the guests of the conference the second day, and my name is Viktor Zhukov, and I will tell you today about special tools that we have prepared with all our team and with the organizers of the conference. So, as you have seen, there is a lot of information about the cryptocurrency, about the tokens, about the blockchain technology, and we have 2 days more ahead. And that's not easy way to understand all the technology in just a few hours or a few days when there is such a lot of information. So who has already stuck a bit with the problem? Oh, there's so many info about it. How can I manage all this? What to do with it? And is there anyone of you who would like to maybe review some records of the previous day or have like a snapshot of the whole conference to understand quickly what can we do with this information? If yes, then please type yes or in Russian, in your language, in our chat, if that corresponds to you. So what I would like to tell you about today. I also know that on the conference, there are several types of guests here. Some of you know about the cryptocurrency a lot already and are experts in this. And for some of the guests, the topic of the conference is just like new one, and some points could be difficult to understand. Could you rate right now from 1 to 10 the level of your expertise? How do you think you are expert in the topics of the conference? So we would like to understand what level are you now, and would you like to move ahead? Understanding all this, we have prepared special tools that will help you to move on. If you would like to move on with this information, if you would like to implement this into your real life, or maybe understand how could I use this in the real life? Is it something applicable to me? Is it that I can use on my daily basis, or that's something virtual? For some of you, there may be an interest on ICOs or investment tools that are described in the conference. We also have prepared some useful tools that we would like to provide and present to you today. In the conference, we have 3 packs, 3 product packs that will help you to understand all the topics of the conference without missing any part of it. We have 3 packs because they are divided on the level of submerging into the topics. The first pack is a special course that is for those who are new to the blockchain, to the cryptocurrency, and who would like to understand the terminology for these topics and just to get acquainted with it. In this course, you will also get as a bonus pack all the records of the old days. But I think that sometimes it's difficult to find 4 hours or even 4 times in 4 hours to look through all the conference. For this case, we have prepared special bonus packs. This is a PDF file with the, I wanted to say encrypted, not encrypted, with compressed information on the topics of the conference that was held yesterday and will be 3 days more. So, plus to the PDF file, we also include in this pack an interactive map, so-called mind map, where you can explore all the topics of the conference in a very easy way. Now I will show you on the video where it is located. We have a special academy, World Academy, in which there are located all the packs in the convenient online format. So you can access all the records, all the PDF files, all the interactive maps right from your computer or from your smartphone or even from a tablet. So there are all the possibilities of the modern technologies that you can use. Also, we have several courses that I would like to show you right now on the presentation. On the screen, you will see now the 3 courses in Russian language, but don't worry, there are 9 courses in the academy that are on different languages, including Russian, English, and Japan. So feel free to get into them and dive into the deep understanding of the technology in a very quickly and efficient way. But that's not the point. We also have a small surprise for you. For those who will choose another pack, about which I will tell you a bit more in a few seconds. In the second pack, we have included a special 3 days premium masterclass. In this premium masterclass, with the top experts of this conference, you will have a deep dive into the exact questions and answers on the cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies. And in the third pack, in the Black Ultra pack of the conference, you will also gain access to the premium networking group. Who of you would like to exchange the context to get acquainted with people who are experts and who are interested in technology, in projects? Maybe you would like to gain new partners or start some projects with the people who are deeply interested and who already know something at the level of expertise about it. Oh, bless you. One person from my team just sneezed, so that's the proof of information that I'm telling you. So if you would like to join such a group, you can choose the third Black Ultra pack and join such a community. Plus, in this community, you will be able to choose the topics of the conference, of the premium masterclass that will be discussed and deeply noted and described in the conference with the top experts. So if you are interested in any of this information, if you want to get the record, if you want to see at a glance, in a very quickly way, through all the information through the conference, join any of these packs, the first one or the second one with the deep information on how cryptocurrency works, or how to exchange it, how to buy it, how to store it, and so on. And in the third pack, you get also information on ICOs, how to choose projects in which to invest, and all the tools that are for investors. The links for these products are in the chat below. Feel free to join us. I will be glad to welcome you in the academy. We start our courses at the end of this week, but you can join us only during the days of the conference. Thank you very much for your attention. We had a very big work today for this conference, and I wish you for this conference to gain maximum value, so that would convert to your profit, personal profit. Have a nice day. Bye.
System where you can check every single Bitcoin exchange. Consider our solutions easy. We will invest 100% of your stock to buy equipment. Question the reliability of mining investment. We are ready to buy your share at any moment. Take our equipment. We are building mining farms all over the world and have an insurance fund. That way sudden losses won't affect our incomes. Think you decide nothing? We are building an active community where every opinion matters. Take your part in leading it by speaking up and giving your vote. Debate with us. We don't have offshores. Our public contract can be changed only if you wanted to. We have the cheapest equipment on the market, and the daily fee would cost you 14 cents US dollars terahash per second. Try to find an alternative? You'll be surprised. There is none. build the strongest mining company in the world. Tell us that it's impossible to earn money in honest ways. We have made a clear system where you can check every single Bitcoin exchange. Consider our solutions easy. We will invest 100% of your stock to buy equipment. Question the reliability of mining investment. We are ready to buy your share at any moment. Take our equipment. We are building mining farms all over the world and have an insurance fund. That way sudden losses won't affect our incomes. Think you decide nothing? We are building an active community where every opinion matters. Take your part in leading it by speaking up and giving your vote. Debate with us. We don't have offshores. Our public contract can be changed only if you wanted to. Criticize us. We have the cheapest equipment on the market, and the daily fee would cost you 14 cents US dollars terahash per second. Try to find an alternative? You'll be surprised. There is none.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christine and I'm a crypto blogger. By the way, you can check my Instagram over here. I always wanted to do that. I'm not sure here or here. You should check it and see it. Besides that, I am a trader and the head of investor relationship department in Platinum Ltd. Now I'm happy to announce the second day of the conference and the second topic, crypto mining in the modern world. Crypto mining is the brand new business, appeared recently, and now it played very important role as a fundamental to the entire cryptocurrency market. On the first stream, we discussed probably one of the crucial problem, which is how to deal with financial transactions, how to integrate it with crypto. And before we proceed, I would like to attract your attention to one of the goals of this online conference. If you're still not sure what blockchain is, or you would like to start to trade smart, then come and check links in the chat and on our website for these educational resources on blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. With less than $50, you will have access to all recordings of this conference, which is 4 days conference. Guys, just keep it in mind. And I would also want to remind that we are having a little bit flash mob over here, and all you need to do is to hold your hands like this and show your support to blockchain. You should take a picture and post it in Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, with the hashtag CryptoStrong, and tag 3 friends of yours. Let's show our support, guys. Everybody twist your hands now, take pictures and post it. I will like personally every of you with this hashtag. Before we start our discussion and speeches, I would love to present our sponsor for this live stream, Astra International Mining Pool, responsible mining with a focus on transparency and sustainability. Members' shares never expire, 100% reinvestment on equipment. And before I will turn to our speakers, I would like to invite everybody to our chat. Please type in which city do you live. For me, I'm currently in Tokyo. It's 11:30 p.m. over here, and you can ask any questions for our speakers. I have my list of questions. You can do it anytime during the conference. I'm checking the chat all the time, guys, so don't hesitate to ask. I will see everything. And let's invite our guest for the second stream. I can see there is Mike Smirnov with us. He is the head of community in Astra.
Hello.
And hello, Mike. And okay, it's my pleasure to meet you.
See.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce and say more about you to our audience.
Yeah, so my name is Mike. I work in Astra. And today I'd like to speak about positive things and moments and also opportunities in mining.
That's great. I mean, we should start. How much crypto mining equipment is in the world today? Can you estimate?
Yeah, so basically a lot of people, well, some people tend to say that the mining is dead. But despite the fact that in November 2018, around 31% of all ASICs were turned off, there are still 2.6 million ASICs working at this very moment. So yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The studies show that around 2.6 million ASICs are working right now.
Wow. And how much this current, this market and cryptocurrency affects, the profit of the crypto miners?
how much the profit of crypto miners affect.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean the current crypto market, it's down, right? And
Yeah.
how does it affect the profit of the miners?
Yeah, well, a lot of tokens and coins have gone through a really harsh devaluation. But as a miner, if your operational expenses are lower than the average level, you can still have a relatively stable income thanks to chain difficulty decrease and, of course, the increase of transactional costs. Also, it's really important to remember that the halving is going to be in 531 days from now. And it's a really important event in the whole cryptocurrency market, especially for the miners.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I see we have a question from a chat, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
How do you think, who is responsible for falling market? Brokers or not?
Well, in my humble opinion, I think that, of course, there are a lot of reasons for that, but one of the main reasons is a lot of scammers in the market. So basically, the whole idea of ICO is a really good one, but since there were a lot of scammers recently, the whole market started to fall down. But I believe that it's temporary.
I see. And as I can see, we have Alexey Zenkov, who is the CEO of Mining Now and AA Lab, with us. He just connected. Alexey, are you here?
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Pleasure to hear you. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
I am a crypto specialist working in cryptocurrency fields for several years, and I am the head of a project of Mining Now. We have a big mining farm, so I can talk about mining.
Okay, and what about the question? Did the current market affect your profits?
Still have a profit. Actually, the difficulty of mining is falling down now. So that miners who have a low rate of electricity, less than 3 cents per kilowatt, still have profit. But this is good for markets with low electricity price only. For United States, I think mining is a past.
Okay, and what are the best conditions for crypto miners? This is the question for both of you gentlemen.
Repeat, please.
What are the best conditions for crypto miners?
It depends which kind of crypto miners you present. Because if you're a big crypto miner, for you, good condition is low price of Bitcoin, as low as give you as low as you still give you profit. If you're small crypto miner, of course, the lowest price that you still interesting to mine, it's about $400, I think, per one Bitcoin. But industry of mining now is going to professional fields, and only big farms will still working in nearest future. I think for small miners, market is closed now.
Okay, Mike, do you have something to add?
Yeah, sure. I agree that the retail is basically dying off right now. So yeah, basically the study shows that around 60% of all mining is in China right now. due to renewable energy sources and basically low-cost equipment. But right now, I think that Russian Federation is a really good place for miners due to, well, first of all, the policy management here is not settled, but still there is no red tape on the industry. And that combined with unique amounts of idle capacities, weather conditions, make Russia a really good place for the equipment relocation from China. So yeah, basically the best conditions, I think, that are idle capacities and weather conditions, and also the low prices on electricity.
Can you just tell us 5 countries which are the best for mining? Like
5 countries.
Or 3, not the 3.
Right, 3. So I think it is China, Russia,
okay,
and arguably Canada.
Canada, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. And guys, don't hesitate. I just remind you, don't hesitate to ask us questions in our chat, and please tell us which country are you in which town are you in. We are really interested in it. And we have the most popular question from the voting in the chat. Gentlemen, how do you recommend overcoming a course drop when mining becomes unprofitable? How do you recommend overcoming a course drop when mining becomes unprofitable?
Should I be the first one?
You can be, sure.
Yeah. So basically, I think we're really far from the point where mining becomes unprofitable. It always depends on the electricity costs. And still there are a lot of places with the really low electricity costs. So it will still be profitable for a really long time.
Alexei, do you have anything to add? Thank you so much, Mike.
Yes, you can use some technologies to increase your profit of mining. For example, you can use a heat warm of from mining to heat buildings if you living in cold climate conditions. That's why Russia is very good place for mining, because you can have more profit not only from mining but from heating, for example. Second one is trading. You can use some mined coins on market to have some additional profit. And if you will use these options, you can still be in profit in several years more, I think.
Also, there are a lot of ways to increase the effectiveness of mining, such as ASIC boosts.
Can you tell us more about it?
Well, I'm not very keen on the technology itself. But
just, the surface of the...
Well, basically the upgrades that increase the effectiveness of ASICs. And also I saw a really nice technology of, I can't exactly remember the name of the liquid. So basically you put your ASIC in this liquid, which gives your equipment a lot of sustainability and basically lowers the amortization costs. So that's one of the ways to increase the effectiveness.
Okay, thank you so much for this extended answer. And I would love to remind you all that The sponsor of this information stream is Astra International Mining Pool, responsible mining with a focus on transparency and sustainability. Members' shares never expire, 100% reinvestment of equipment. And let's proceed to the last question from me. And guys, don't forget to ask our gentlemen questions. This is the one lifetime opportunity for you to know more about mining from these professionals. And the question for me would be, what positive changes are expected on the crypto mining market to make it increasing again in future?
You know, the time of crypto mining, it's mining exists a lot of time. It's about 10 years. So the time of mining, it's go to finish. It's still will use in next 3-5 years, but really it's not very modern technology. Cryptocurrency is high technology. It's very modern technology, but mining a little bit past. So you need not think that mining will very profitable in the future. It will give you a good profit now, but after 3-5 years, I expect the profitable will be very small.
Mm-hmm. Mike, can you add
sure.
something? Because I mean, we just talked that mining will be profitable for a lot of years.
Yeah, I truly believe so. And I think that the main goals of the mining industry is the increase in transparency, of course, secure remote cooperations, because potential investors right now are located pretty far from profitable locations. And of course, the creation of unified standards in the whole industry.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. And the last question, quick question, just for fun, for both of you guys. If you were McAfee, which part of the body you would start to prepare to eat in 2 years?
I
just
think
the
the whole
first
leg.
thing, the whole
leg. Yeah, definitely.
It could be finger.
Yeah, but should be the whole leg.
Okay, and Alexei, what do you think?
I prefer finger. You're absolutely right.
I will eat my nails. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for
by the way,
such. Sure.
I wanted to remind everyone that on 13th of December, right here at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, our CEO will talk here. He'll be here, and he has a lot of interesting things to say about this whole topic.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Mike and Alexei. I believe our audience learned a lot of things about mining from our dialogue. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. And guys, I want to remind you about this, okay? By the way, can we all do this? Alexei, you are not using the video, but you can also do this. And
yes.
Guys,
Okay.
please do this, okay? And send me then a picture, just as a proof.
Will do.
So, okay, thank you so much. Take a picture, guys. Let's show support to cryptocurrency. And yeah, take pictures, post them in Instagram, do the hashtag. And thank you for being with us. The next stream will be in 20 minutes, and we will talk to the expert from of course, crypto field. So don't forget to pour yourself another cup of tea or something more. And Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be your host for today, and see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We build the strongest mining company in the world. Tell us that it's impossible to earn money in honest ways. We have made a clear system where you can check every single Bitcoin exchange. Consider our solutions easy. We will invest 100% of your stock to buy equipment. Question the reliability of mining investment. We are ready to buy your share at any moment. Take our equipment. We are building mining farms all over the world and have an insurance fund. That way sudden losses won't affect our incomes. Think you decide nothing? We are building an active community where every opinion matters. Take your part in leading it by speaking up and giving your vote. Debate with us. We don't have offshores. Our public contract can be changed only if you wanted to. Criticize us. We have the cheapest equipment on the market, and the daily fee would cost you 14 cents US dollars terahash per second. Try to find an alternative. You'll be surprised. There is none. Hi, welcome to New Conference. My name is Chris Abraham, and I'll be moderating this session. This is the 10 o'clock Eastern session with VJ Angelo, entitled How to Build a Regulatory Framework for Blockchain. Welcome to our free online conference. New Conference, it's run by New Economy Media in partnership with the University of Blockchain and ICO. The conference will be streamed worldwide from Facebook Live and our website. So please check it out for the rest of the day. It goes on tomorrow and on to Thursday as well. There's a panel after this that's going to be very exciting too. For the topic this morning, we have, like I said, how to build a regulatory framework for blockchain. This is a very hot topic, and we have the top expert in this space today to address it and discuss it, the CEO of CryptoIndex.io, VJ Angelo. We'll introduce him in a second. Before we start our conversation with VJ, I would love to present our sponsor for this stream, Astra International Mining Pool, responsible mining with a focus on transparency and sustainability. All the members shares never expire, and they reinvest 100% in their equipment. Please remember that we have a flash mob running online right now. Please take a selfie where you are grasping each forearm, your own forearm, with your other hand to show us you want to bridge the divide for a decentralized world. And use the hashtag CryptoStrong. Challenge 3 friends to join you and tag them in the post. And a note from conference sponsor, Crypterium Crypto Bank. Crypto is the future of money, and Crypterium makes it a reality today. Or you can offer your own questions that you'd like to discuss. You can do it at any time during the conference, aside from the questions that I'll be asking VJ in just a few minutes. I'm checking the chat all the time. We have a team checking the chat. Lilia is right out there. Hello, Lilia. And once everyone has voted for a question that they like the most, I'll ask the most popular question that Lilia or anybody else goes ahead and recommends. It's very exciting. I love being part of the community here. Finally, before we start, I'd like to share one of the goals of this online conference. We want to help explain how this new economy works. VJ already knows how the economy works, and so he's here to help us have some insight into blockchain. Now you can know how blockchain works and how the crypto world works. We want to help explain how the new economy works, where it's heading, and what it'll be like in the next couple of years. It's sort of akin to the Brave New World, just like we needed to learn and understand how the internet worked a quarter of a century ago, or even how to harness electricity back in the 1880s. We've prepared courses and coursework for you, very affordable. Please check the link in the chat and our website for these educational resources on blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. Okay, excellent. Now we have VJ Angelo. He's the CEO of CryptoIndex.io, and he is an expert on the future of crypto and regulatory influences. VJ, would you introduce yourself, and then we'll move on to the questions and conversation.
Sure, thank you, Chris. So as Chris mentioned, my name is VJ Angelo. I'm the CEO of CryptoIndex.io, which is a firm developing and producing a new index of the top 100 coins in cryptocurrencies. My personal background is I've been involved in the investment banking and finance community for over 34 years. I've been involved in the production of indices that have ended up on futures contracts on exchanges. Other indices have been used for data and analysis of markets. I've traded a wide variety and brokered a wide variety of currencies and markets across the globe, including Asia, Australia, Europe, and the UK, as well as the US. So that's basically this place to be.
Okay, can you say something again, VJ? I think maybe the internet was a little bit.
Sure, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Cool, thank you. I just wanted to make sure everybody can hear you as well. I can hear you just fine. All right, well, you know, blockchain is such a it's such a dynamic topic, right? Because it deals with the backbone of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other currencies that are out there, and it's also a tool with which to track transactions, and it's changing the world for you know, companies like shipping companies and believe it or not, vintners are finding vintners are finding ways of being able to track against counterfeit wine and all kinds of things all over the world. Like today, we're going to go into what kind of regulatory influences and those kinds of things. But feel free to go ahead and explore the entire breadth and width of blockchain with our viewers. But the first question is, what kind of regulatory influences can we see on the crypto market?
First two things, I'd like to apologize. I think my internet connection's not as stable as I like, so if it disappears briefly, I do apologize.
Sure.
I think in backing your previous statement, we need to define a difference between blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And again, cryptocurrencies and utility tokens, and then finally, all of the above and security tokens. They're all very, very different markets, used for very different purposes, and often get lumped under one heading of crypto. Blockchain is, of course, a technology that underpins effectively the confirmation and settlement of transactions, or guaranteeing the history of any particular asset class. As you mentioned, it could be wine, it could be property, it could be any number of other things. Cryptocurrencies tend to be a blockchain currency, which the ultimate aim of which is to potentially replace fiat, or certainly augment fiat, as we all know. Then we have the ICO market, which has predominantly been utility tokens, and in some cases, what should really be classed as security tokens. These have become a fund mechanism for companies, fintech companies, and a wide variety of others. I think the regulatory framework that we're talking about is aimed predominantly now at the ICO market, and what we're seeing as the conversion from the ICO market to the security token market. I think the big issue with the regulatory framework has been that there has been none for ICOs. Funding and capital raise has been a heavily regulated market, and some would argue, me included, that it's been over-regulated for many, many years. It's a very difficult market to be involved in. It's controlled by the banks, by venture capitalists, by funds, and there's some very strict rules and regulations. So I can understand why something like the ICO market suddenly sprang into life. A lot of institutions, that startups, for instance, who are struggling to raise capital, would see an opportunity to do this in a very simple fashion. Some institutions that didn't want to give away equity, for example, could raise capital. Others that didn't want to take on debt in the form of bonds or borrowing could again raise capital without any of those obligations. The problem was that there were absolutely no obligations whatsoever on the issuers of the tokens. There was no obligation to perform some of the promises they made in white papers or transaction decks or promotions or pitches. There was no obligation for them to carry through with the business model. And the value of the investment really only carried with the other investors themselves. So in an ICO, you were beholden to other people wanting to buy the token and hope that it would go up in value based on a business plan, but with nothing actually underpinning the value of the token itself. And that created a problem. So while the ICO market went on, we all hear about scams, we all hear about false promises, and we're hearing increasingly about a large number of court cases, certainly in the UK, 50 firms, I think the FCA announced, were being investigated and possibly prosecuted for mis-selling, misdirection, for effectively conning or defrauding customers out of funds, making promises that they knew very well they couldn't carry through on, and making promises they knew very well that they were never going to achieve. That's the worst end of the scale. Others who just happened not to be able to carry through the promises because they overpromised, and they made sure that they could deliver the business models. And then the lighter end were, people who did actually come through, people who did actually deliver on the promises they made, and deliver businesses. But again, these can take a very long time. So people were basically waiting for returns on their investments and not seeing them in any short period of time. The liquidity in a lot of ICO coins listed on exchanges is not great, and to see or even to exit your investment can sometimes be problematic. So I think having said all of that, I think a degree of regulation where people can't make promises they know full well they can't follow through on. Mm-hmm. They have to show what it is they're going to use the funds for. They have to show who the people in the business are and why they're there, some kind of expertise or some kind of knowledge. And they have to show that the business itself is being invested in and being developed. So this is where we see the utility token and ICO market slowly converging into, transferring into what's being called the security token market, where there is some kind of guarantee to the investor, be it actual equity, which is put into a blockchain format and delivered in the form of a token rather than a share certificate, be it some form of bond, which again is put into a token with a smart contract and delivered through the blockchain in some form of token, or because the ICO market has shown us that there's a variety of other ways that you can develop funding. Perhaps it can be a revenue share, it could be a number of other opportunities, but something that at least guarantees the investor that business they're investing in is A, delivering, and B, they have some form of return on their investment. And I think the challenge for the regulators in the ICO market is to find that middle ground. Right now, there isn't a world-class exchange as such, a London Stock Exchange, a New York Stock Exchange, that could handle what we call security tokens. So if all of a sudden we were suddenly starting to trade security tokens, there isn't an exchange or a clearinghouse of that quality or that level of regulation that could handle that form of trading. They don't have the wallets, they don't have the clearing mechanism, they don't have the blockchains in place. And to be honest with you, a lot of the regulations they're under wouldn't allow for some of the methods of capital raise I've just described. So I think there's going to have to be work with both the exchange community. They all need, no question about that. There have been too many mistakes and too many disasters around the exchange community in terms of the crypto world. The regulators have to accept that there is a new form of funding available for businesses, and it is a lot less onerous in terms of the needs and requirements they currently have in the prospectus rules and regulations, the listing authorities that they have around the world. And I think between the two of them, they've got to find this middle ground. And I think they have to find it relatively quickly, because with the ICO market now effectively on its knees, there's very little happening in the ICO market. That whole structure of funding for a lot of really promising businesses could disappear altogether if there isn't some kind of coming together. I see, certainly from the regulators, they are engaging fairly rapidly, more from the point of protecting investors immediately, but they also understand that a regulation needs to be put in place for this market. They're just not entirely sure how or what. And then the ICO market also needs to understand where they're going. I've spoken to a lot of people who say, oh, we're just going to create a security token, without understanding that by creating a security token, they immediately fall under a lot of the rules and regulations that already exist. And they need to be able to explain to the regulators what it is they're doing, how it is they're doing it, and why they're doing it. So there's got to be a lot of give and take on both sides. Both sides need to come together fairly quickly to allow that to happen.
Yeah, you know, I look back and I see how ICOs are being painted as being fraudsters and everything else. But I got to tell you, for the initial ICOs, it was a revolutionary act of almost zero or low barrier to entry into a fundraising market that only the most prestigious, if you will, Wall Street blue chip companies could earn after a long time. The whole idea of earning all your money, making all your fundraising, compared to an IPO, was just a revolutionary act, and of course completely vulnerable to being taken advantage of. The question we have from the people, believe it or not, VJ, we already have a request from the audience. Lilia, sure.
It's interesting you say that, but I think we saw a transition into the ICO market through crowdfunding platforms, which were a very light touch, new way of connecting investors with small cap startups. So rather than going through, as you described, an IPO through an SME exchange, a small market exchange for very small volume raises, the crowdfunding platforms that developed over the last 10 12 years, were a stepping stone into the ICO market. I think it was a little bit too far of a step from the investor guarantees that some of the crowdfunding platforms had.
Indeed. Yes. If you can take a mile, why not take? If you can take an inch, why not take a mile, right? But you're right. Question from the audience, and please excuse my neophyte and innocent questions. Will government regulations? It all comes down to how do we spend cryptocurrency from the audience. Will government regulations complicate payments with cryptocurrency?
I don't think so. I think the one thing the governments have realized, and while there was resistance from central banks early on, they're beginning to embrace it a little bit more, is that cryptocurrencies, if they do grab hold as a proper payment system, if we do see credit cards, if we do see point of sale transactions begin to happen, is virtually uncontrollable just by the nature of the technology behind it. So we've seen, for instance, HMRC in the UK have declared that they don't regulate cryptocurrencies. However, they've already stated that if you are paid in cryptocurrencies, you have to follow the income tax rules. There are VAT rules, value over tax or sales tax rules that you have to follow. And there are similar rules that are being made or stated by various income tax and IRS.
We lost VJ for a second, but I'm sure he'll come back. His Wi-Fi is a little spotty, and it's worth waiting for whatever he's going to say next, because this is an amazing interview. Yikes. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, our sponsor, Astra International Mining Pool, responsible mining with a focus on transparency and sustainability. Member shares never expire, and they reinvest 100% in their new equipment. And don't forget that we're currently doing a flash mob running online right now. Please take a selfie where you're grasping each forearm with the other hand to show us you want to bridge the divide for a decentralized world, and use the hashtag CryptoStrong. Challenge 3 friends to join and then tag them in a post. And while we're talking about cool ICOs, Crypterium. Crypto is the future of money. Crypterium makes it a reality today. Let's see what's happening. I would like to also remind you that the entire audience, that this is just one of our conference topics. More news and speakers to come. Please read our announcements, follow us on social networks, and connect with us and give us your feedback. We welcome all blockchain-related communities and like-minded people. Our conference is all embracing. Let us know where you're watching this from. Are you watching this from the stream on the website, or are you watching it from Facebook Live? I'm pretty excited about Facebook Live. And I don't know, it's pretty exciting. I want to hear the rest of what Mr. VJ Angelo is sharing with us. He's such an engaging speaker and such an expert. I love the fact, it's funny because when I saw the YouTube video that introduced the first concept of ICOs, it was just someone who wanted to raise a little bit of money for a single project. Let's see if anybody's chatting with me to let me know what's going on. Nobody's telling me what's going on, but I'm happy to run this a little bit longer. Some of the questions that we were going to ask include, I also want to remind you that there are educational packets that are part of this conference in support of it. Okay, we can finish. Let me finish. I guess that means I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you again to VJ Angelo. CEO of CryptoIndex.io. I'm sorry that we had technical difficulties. It was an amazing interview as far as it went. I'm hoping that we can reschedule it, or we can do a pre-recorded that we can then add to the package that we offer you as part of the educational material. Don't forget, have an amazing and productive rest of the day, and I will see all y'all tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the same 10 Eastern Standard interview. Thank you so much for spending your most valuable resource with me. That's not Bitcoin, that's your time. And up next, in about 40 minutes, Dana Garrison will be up next moderating a panel on the exciting topic of how to raise investment funds during a downward market. Anyway, thank you very much. Don't forget, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Angelo back from his tropical undisclosed location. So we're very happy to have...
No, I'm losing connection again, guys.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, you're we can hear you, but you are not...
No, I'm losing connection again.
Oh, well, dommage.
Yeah, the connection's a bit unstable again.
Well, as long as we can hear you, it might look like you're a very low refresh video webcam, but I can hear you, your voice. Shall we continue with just your voice and sort of screen captures of your face?
No, it's.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can reschedule you during another time of the week.
Yeah, I think that might be a better idea. This is, for some reason, we'd set up a very stable connection and then it's just dropped completely.
Those
I have a habit of doing that here, unfortunately.
Those are RFID resistant thatch behind you. Bamboo is naturally
yeah, I think it may well be.
Wi-Fi.
The Dominican Republic is doing well, but not that well, it appears.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me know time you'd like to reschedule.
us in line. We build the strongest mining company in the world. Tell us that it's impossible to earn money in honest ways. We have made a clear system where you can check every single Bitcoin exchange. Consider our solutions easy. We will invest 100% of your stock to buy equipment. Question the reliability of mining investment. We are ready to buy your share at any moment. Take our equipment. We are building mining farms all over the world and have an insurance fund. That way sudden losses won't affect our incomes. Think you decide nothing? We are building an active community where every opinion matters. Take your part in leading it by speaking up and giving your vote. Debate with us. We don't have offshores. Our public contract can be changed only if you wanted to. Criticize us. We have the cheapest equipment on the market, and the daily fee would cost you 14 cents US dollars terahash per second. Try to find an alternative? You'll be surprised. There is none.
Economy Online Conference. I would like to welcome you on this event, and today we have next day of our great conference with different speakers. And my name is Viktor Zhukov, and I'm the head of the Academy. And I have prepared for you several tools that will help you to adopt all the topics and materials that we have on this conference. As far as you know, there are many topics, and there's many information about what's happening in the crypto world with cryptocurrency and all the topics that the speakers are providing. And the volume of all this information is pretty high, and it's sometimes difficult to adopt all the information very quickly, just in 4 days of the conference. And I think you know the case when you join the conference, but you have left only approximately 10 or 20% of the information from that conference. So if this is actual for you, I have a tool, and also I have tool for other cases. We have prepared record specs. These record specs include all the days of the conference recorded, but this is not the only case that we have for you. Sometimes it's hard to look through all the hours of the conference. So we have prepared the special spec number 1 that is on the slide 1. I will show it to you on the presentation. This is special information that is compressed to the PDF file that you will see now on the slide 2. So you get not only records of the conference of the all days and all the speakers, but you also get a PDF file with statuses of the speakers. It's very convenient and a very good way to get it quickly. Now on the third slide, I would like to show you also the interactive mind map, a map with all the information from the conference that you can use in interactive way, and it is also a very easy way to look through the topics and through the key points of the conference. So this record specs is pretty affordable. It costs only $49.9 US, and you can get it right by the links below this video. But also in this spec there is included a small course, a course for those who is new to the crypto world, who would like to know the basic principles of how the cryptocurrency works, how blockchain works. And if you want to get in touch with the crypto information, this course is specially designed for you, so you will know what it is about. The second spec includes all the records also, and PDF files and interactive maps, but also it includes an advanced course. This course is for those who already know what is cryptocurrency, what to do with it, and it contains information on how to store it, how to send it, how to receive it, which services to use, which devices to use, and everything you need to know to already use the cryptocurrency. And in this spec, there's also included a special masterclass. The online masterclass that you can see on the next slide is a special event. That's a private group. That's a private event that is being held on 17th till 19th December. It will be 3 days from next Monday. Every day there will be 2 hours of online group with top experts from this conference, where we will discuss the hottest topics of the crypto world, and we will get the exact recommendations from speakers that you can follow through and apply to your current situation in business or in life. And in packet 3, on the 7th slide, we also have a professional course for those who are already investing or is going to invest to the cryptocurrency and into blockchain technologies, and who is looking for the projects and some criteria which to apply when you choose the project you want to invest in. And in this spec, in this course, there's a very deep description of the ICOs and projects, and on how to get into these projects and how to do it properly. So this course is for those who already feel themselves as an expert or would like to become them. And also in this course, there's a special bonus. we include in this course a premium networking group. This is a group of people who are willing, like you, to get in touch, to exchange contacts on the topics of the cryptocurrency and the crypto world. And maybe if you wish to create new partnership or exchange with a group of people who is also willing to solve these questions, this networking group is especially for you. And by the way, this group is a bunch of people who chooses the topics of the third day of the masterclass that is held on 17th and 19th December. The masterclass is also included in the third pack. And so that's the tools that you can use with this conference to fully adopt all the information. And I wish you very energetic year, 2019, and to be on the top of the energy, to be fully powered, enjoy courses, enjoy masterclass, and enjoy networking group on the links that are below this video. And if you have any questions, just type them in the chat below. Have a nice day. Bye.
Hello, Dana Garrison, and welcome back to New Conference. We've got great information in store for you today. And as you know, there's all kinds of great and wonderful things happening during this conference. We've got wonderful sponsors. Cryptarium is a sponsor, Astra is a sponsor, and now you know that Astra is actually democratized mining. So that means if you want to actually put your foot into mining and try it out, it's a very easy way to get in. I think you only need to have under $1 US to get started, rather than needing to buy an entire mining rig and location and all of these things that are very costly and lock most people out from getting in the mining game. And Cryptarium, of course, is the company that runs and is partnered with New Economy. Now, our agenda for this stream, we're going to be covering tips for investing in ICOs and STOs. And I've got a wonderful speaker with us here today. So, An, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, please, and a little bit about your background.
Sure. Hi, Donna. Thank you for having me today. So I am the founder and CEO of Cointelligence. We do data research and analysis for the crypto economy, and we've been fully focusing on ICOs, STOs, exchanges, and coins. For the last year, we developed, an ICO and STO rating system that allows us to do in-depth analysis for ICOs and STOs. And I will show in my presentation today two main parts. One is how we do the due diligence and how we actually do the rating. But before that, I will show real scams that we found while we were doing the due diligence. And whenever we found these scams, we just called them out to make sure that investors will not invest their money in scams.
I love it. Thank you. So, gang, get out your notebooks, get out a pen. There's going to be a lot of great tips here. So get ready to take notes. These are going to be tips for investors of all kinds, individual investors, VCs, angels, hedge funds, family offices. So you're going to hear about how to sniff out those scams and what you need to be paying attention to so that you can invest and do well in any market. All right, so let's actually have you get started and we'll dive right in. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So if we can have the first slide of the presentation shown, I'll need some help from the technical team. One second. So until we get the presentation running, I'll just start by telling a little bit more about myself with the context of the due diligence presentation. Now, I have been an angel investor and an advisor to startups for the last 10 years, and I am considered to be a serial entrepreneur. The reason that I'm mentioning it is because I am allowing myself to criticize people in the industry that we find that are not legit, or that they only use the blockchain or crypto hype in order to make a quick buck. And you will see in the presentation that we are attacking some of them, if it's individuals or if it's companies. And the last thing that I would like to add to the explanation that I'm explaining now is that I will be showing some of the negative sides of the industry, but I have to say that I decided to dedicate my life to blockchain and crypto about 1.5 years ago, and I think it's the biggest revolution that we ever had. And I am calling everyone to go into crypto and get a taste of it. And don't get my presentation wrong and think that because I'm showing some of the negative parts, it's not. It is the best thing that happened to us, and I think that we should all embrace it. Now, I'm still waiting for the presentation to show up. Let me see, maybe maybe I will be able to just show it from...
Oh, so it's on, I think. It's that, I'm not sure that you can see the slides as they're going. So it's actually on screen right now. So you may want to load your presentation on your own computer screen so you know which slide we're on.
Great. Okay, so let's...
on the first slide.
Okay, so let's just go to slide number 4. Just let me know that everyone can see the slide, and it talks about X-Search ICO. Okay, great. So the first example that I'm showing, as I promised to show a real live example of scams, then the problem that I'm showing right now is about an ICO called X-Search. And the biggest problem that we had with this specific ICO is not only the fact that it's a scam, but the fact that it was published and rated on rating websites that investors are actually reviewing in order to make investment decisions. And as we can see on this slide, on a website called Wiser ICO, X-Search ICO got a rating of 3.4 out of 5. If we go to the next slide, it will be on a slide about the rating website called ICO Holder, which is a pretty much popular website. And we can see that they got a 4 out of 5. If we go to the next slide, we can see a website called Fox ICO, and the rating is 7 out of 10. If we go to the next slide, we see another rating website with a score of 8.2 out of 10. And if we go to the next slide, which is the slide that shows the rating on Cointelligence, on my website, you can see that the score is completely 0 because it's a scam. So what we can learn from this is not only there's many scams out there, but there are many rating websites that are enabling these scams, that are rating them without really rating them. And the big question would be, how come a scam got these high ratings? Now, if we go to the next slide, it's another case of a different type of a scam. And I will take this opportunity to explain that we have different types of scam. We have scams that are built up by hackers or just a bored kid or just an anonymous individual, and they get a website up and running and they try to steal the public, the money from the public. But we also have different other types of scams, as the one that we can see here. In this slide, we are showing a project called Initiative Q. And Initiative Q, in our opinion, is a Ponzi scheme. The reason that it's a Ponzi scheme is that they developed nothing, 0. They don't have anything beside a website. And they already registered, according to what they say, more than 2 million users around the world that are inviting their family and friends to join in on the next Bitcoin. If we go to the next slide, we can see that it's not only me saying that it is a ridiculous Ponzi scheme. We can see one of the biggest Bitcoin developers out there saying the same thing. And I'll just read the beginning, where he says, let's put aside your preposterous, arrogant claims of your made-up currency. And as we can see, it's all made up because they got nothing, being worth 2 trillion USD. So when you talk to people and tell them they should give their details, which means that they give their data, and we all know how significant and how important data is in 2018. Sometimes data is more important than money, or is worth a lot of money. Then you can see why we are very upset at this. They got nothing, they did nothing, and they are claiming to be the next Bitcoin. If you search online, you will actually see articles that we cannot prove, but we suspect they paid for them because no one sane enough will call them the next Bitcoin when they have nothing developed. Absolutely nothing. Now, if we go to the next example, and I will not have a time to go over all the examples, but I'll just talk about this example. We can see the slide is showing CNBC, one of the most well-known media channels, if it's TV or other channels and resources that they have in the world. And CNBC is enabling scams. The scam that we see on this slide is an ICO claiming to reduce a file from 90 megabyte to 472K. Now, my research team and myself consulted with 12 different CTOs, including 4 compression experts, and they all verified one thing: it's impossible, period. And you know what the host of the show said to the people that we see on the image? He told them, shut up and take my money. Now we have to understand something. He is one of the biggest influencers in the crypto industry. And when people are listening to his show and watching his show, they follow him and they invest money in crypto companies because of what he's saying. And it's a complete scam. These people are cheating and lying to the public. Now, I will give one more example, very short, in our next slide. The next slide shows an example of corruption in the ICO advisors space. We have thousands, if not tens of thousands of ICO advisors. And like I said in the beginning, I know exactly what it means to be an advisor to a startup. And these corrupted advisors are shown on dozens of different websites. You cannot advise dozens of startups if you are a human being. You can just not do it. And my point is, it's not only the scammers, it's not only, excuse my language, the bullshitters, it's also everyone enabling them. If it's the TV shows that we saw, if it's the advisors, if it's the YouTubers, if it's publishers out there, and many people in the industry that are enabling scams, which is completely wrong. Now, I will go to slide number 14, which shows a summary of how we do rating or how we do due diligence to projects. And as you can see in the slide, we are reviewing the following categories: data integrity, vision, team, product, legal entity, social engagement, and marketing in general. Now, just to give you a couple of examples, if we go to the next slide, we can see that the average score of 110 rating that we did for 110 ICOs is 6 as a median score. If we go to the next slide, and this is the part where I'm showing what we actually discovered when we did the rating and when we found all the scams that I am talking about. So we saw major key failure reasons, and they are the following. One is 30% of the rated ICOs didn't have a competitor analysis in the white paper, or they left important competitors out. And again, coming from the startup industry and having the 10 years almost experience that I have, that is completely wrong. But if we go to the next part on this slide, the duplicated content part is much more serious, because we see that 10% of ICOs that we rated actually copied content from other companies. Now, when we see that they copied content, first, it's very wrong. very, very wrong. If you launch a company and you raise funds from the public and you're not even able to produce your own content and you need to copy paste it from others, I don't see how I would invest money in you. And I think that whenever someone is using duplicated content, they should be disqualified immediately. Even if it's only one page from 100 pages, it doesn't matter. It's still considered to be very wrong. Obviously, when you have the whole white paper, the whole dozen of pages or 100 pages copied, then most likely it's a scam. Because if someone is doing that, then for us, it's a very, very high risk scam possibility. And the last example that I would show is that 5% of the ICO presented outdated information, which includes roadmaps, wrong rating scores, the rating websites that we mentioned before, but the ICO founders actually changed the scores the way that they see it fit, and they published it on the website, or they published wrong sale information. Just to give you an idea about what it is, sale information, it can be how much money you raised. So you're saying to the public that you raised $5 million, but actually you raised $500,000. I don't need to explain how wrong it is and how misleading it can be to the investors. Now, if we go to the next slide, we can see that when we analyzed the team, we found the following. We found that almost 20% of the ICO we rated, they didn't have a member that knows or understands the industry. For example, if the ICO is aimed at the insurance industry and none of the founders are from the insurance industry, or at least one of the important core advisors are from the insurance industry, that's a very that's a red flag for us. Another example would be inexperienced CTOs. We found that more than 15% of the ICOs and the STOs that we rated, they had an inexperienced CTO. And when I say an inexperienced CTO, just to give you an example, we're talking about CTOs that never worked as CTOs before in their life, or they didn't even have a high-level position as a developer in any of the previous companies that they worked for. And only 3 ICOs did not present a team at all, which is completely ridiculous to raise money from the public, not to show who is on the team. Now, if we go to the next slide, I will give another example. When we rate the vision part, then I will just say, because I won't have enough time to go over the entire slide, but I would say that a lot of the times we see an amazing vision, an amazing team, but it seems like the team completely ignored that we are living in a real world and we don't live in a fantasy world. Or if they think that they can raise funds to land blockchain on the moon, or to do all kinds of crazy ideas that we've seen that make no sense. And we are all about innovation and we are all about changing the rules. But there is a limit to the things that you can present to the public that you will be able to do. Because even if one of the 500 Fortune companies like Google or Facebook or Amazon would try to do these things, it will probably not happen. So let alone a couple of founders with a white paper. Let's go to the next slide that talks about the product. When we analyze the product, we discovered that we have a median a score of 5, which is very low in our opinion, because it's out of 10. So it's about half. And if we go to the next slide, it will show that the marketing is a very important factor in our opinion when you're raising funds from the public, because you need to be out there, you need to be able to be out there. You cannot just close yourself in a room with your developers and develop your company without talking to the public, without being able to get the message to the public, if it's by content, if it's by social media, if it's by press releases, and so on and so on. If we go to the next slide, we'll see that social engagement is very important. Now, it's a part of the marketing that I mentioned a second ago, but it's not only that. We need to remember that in crypto world, the engagement on social media is very important. And if the founders are not able to communicate, and everybody knows that Telegram is one of the main channels in the crypto industry. If a company cannot allow itself, if the founders cannot allow themselves to be available to the public through their Telegram group, then they don't have any business to raise funds from the public. Because it's 2018, it's crypto. If you are not able to free up your time and to be able to technologically do it for at least a couple of hours a day. By the way, I'm not talking about 24 hours. Some of the people from the industry think that you have to be available 24 hours. It doesn't work that way, and people need to sleep, and you cannot be available for everyone everywhere in the world, but at least advertise that from this hour to this hour, you will be available to the public to ask questions. And yes, it needs to be on a daily basis, not on a weekly or a monthly basis, because again, it's crypto and everything moves so quick. The next slide, we will have to really minimize. I'll just talk about the risk factors that we saw. One of them is the social media warning signs that almost 30% of the ICOs and the STOs that we rated had red flags that involved having team members that are presented on the website without social media profiles, I mean, and having team members that don't list the ICO as a place of work on their social media pages. So we don't know if it's on purpose or not on purpose, but it's a serious red flag. And we finished the presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have, Dana, or someone from our listeners.
Thank you so much. Such salient points. And I'm absolutely on board in terms of that marketing, because we've had this history of scams, as you've clearly outlined today. Projects and founders really need to be paying attention to how to build trust, and that daily appearance in your community, answering questions, showing that you're right there, the regular announcements, the content going out, uber important. I'm completely behind you on that. Now, I do have some questions for you, and audience, go ahead and type any questions you have or vote on the questions that we've given you for which question you'd like me to ask him. I'm going to start with, we're going to do kind of a quick round here. How long do you think that this downturned market is going to continue?
So in my opinion, we have two options. One is that it will take a few months, and after a few months, we will see a huge rise in STOs. I mentioned throughout my presentation about ICOs and STOs. I will just explain to our viewers that the huge difference between STOs to ICOs is that with STOs, you have to be very compliant. And I'm saying compliant, it's not really compliant because there's no real regulations in the world at the moment for crypto. Some countries did advertise guidelines and they advertised at the beginning of the regulations, but there aren't any. But let's call it regulated just for as a figure of speech, because everybody understands that if you raise funds from the public and you promise them to have growth and they will be able to profit from it, then you are probably a security. And the biggest difference would be that with STOs, it's going to be much more, there's going to be much less monkey business, much less fishy stuff. And I think that the public will gain the trust again in STOs, and we will see it grow. So it can happen in a few months, or another option that it will take much, much longer, and that will happen about in a year or a year and a half ago, in a year or a year and a half from now. The second part of my answer would be that with no regards to ICOs and STOs or any kind of funding mechanisms, we also have stable coins. And I truly believe that stable coins are going to bridge the gap between the old world economy to the new world economy. And I think that in 2019, we'll see a huge, huge hype. I'm not saying if it's a good hype or a bad hype. I'm saying it will be a hype. And I think that we will see the crypto economy goes back or much more than what it was in 2017.
Thank you so much. And we do have a question that came in from our audience now. They are curious, how do you choose a prospective STO project? So can you give us some bullet points of what they should be checking for so that they can make a smart decision?
Definitely. So I think that some of the parts of the presentation that I showed are actually, I actually explained what we are looking in a project. But to summarize it, I would say that the most important part would be the team. I would say that the most important part after the team and after everything that I discussed about the team is the integrity, to see that they are very honest and that they are not publishing anything that turns out to be wrong. And I am saying that, and we need to remember that while I'm saying that, things are changing, and things are changing a lot in the crypto industry, but I'm not talking about changes. I'm talking about lying about things. I'm talking about showing things that are wrong. And I think that another part would be that don't listen to people that are claiming to be experts. Don't even listen to me when you are doing due diligence. Do your own due diligence and check whatever you think is important to check. Now, I just want to add one more thing about it, is that if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not true, just as an overall tip.
All right, thank you so much. Lightning round, really quickly. Are there other types of investments in the market, in the crypto market in general, that people can be looking at? Other ways to play?
Yeah, so obviously you can become a trader and you can trade with cryptocurrencies. I have to say that I am not a trader. I was never a trader and I don't have any financial experience myself. I do track the different coins because we are researching them on Cointelligence in my company, but I was never a specialist when it comes to trading. So you can be a trader. The second thing that you can do beside investing in ICOs or STOs is becoming a part of the industry. And when you're asking me about investments, I'm saying it doesn't only have to be invest your money in a specific project. I would change the question and say, or change or answer it in a way that I really think that everyone should consider, is invest in yourself. Go into crypto, learn it, study it. When I was approached a year and a half ago by a very dear friend of mine who talked to me about crypto and blockchain, and on that call, I decided to start Cointelligence. I didn't know anything about crypto. And as I mentioned, I don't come from a financial background. I learned everything by myself. Now, obviously, I'm a bit of a fanatic person when it comes to something that I love or something that I get into. And I did it since a year and a half ago until now for almost like 24 hours a day beside the sleeping part. So I don't expect everyone to leave everything that they're doing, but definitely spend some time that you have, some free time on your weekends or after work, get a feel out of it. And I can tell you that even though we are in crypto winter at the moment, and it really looks bad, I am 1000% sure that it's going to change. And I can tell you that if you invest in yourself and if you invest in your knowledge when it comes to crypto, you will profit from it at some point. And I will say one last thing about this topic is that crypto is relevant, crypto and blockchain are relevant for so many industries out there. If it's the financial industry, real estate, legal, health, insurance, it just goes on and on and on. And you can find something that you will relate to in crypto or blockchain, even if you're not a crypto or blockchain expert, and it can get you in it.
I love it. Investing in yourself is the thing that will always pay you back forever, because that knowledge can never be taken away from you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you've got someplace to go next, so we're going to send you off and let you go. Thank you so much again for sharing your wisdom and guidance.
Thank you so much for having me. And go into crypto. You too.
Love it. Thank you. I'll let you go. And then I just wanted to let the audience know that just as he was mentioning, we actually have continued education for you so that we can support you in your investment of yourself and growing. We've got 3 different packages, actually. You've probably seen them on the website. We'll put a link in the comments so you can pop over to it and take a look. So we've got a records pack, which has all of the records of the conference, including written breakdowns of what each talk was about, plus a beginner's course on blockchain and crypto. We have a premium pack that has all of those things, plus an intermediate course and certification in blockchain and crypto from a university. We also have with that interaction with experts. It's an online masterclass, December 17th through 19th. And then our top of the line package is the Black Ultra Pack, and it has everything that I've mentioned, plus and in the sort of advanced course in crypto. So it's got the basics, it's got the advanced, again, with a certification through a university. You're going to have that interactive with experts on December 17th through 19th, as well as access to a private premium networking group. So whether you're looking to become a better investor yourself, whether you're looking to start a project and you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're already in the tech or some industry and enterprise and you want to integrate blockchain, one of these ongoing education packages is going to help you boost yourself up. So if you don't know, we're playing a flash mob online on social media where everybody's taking a photo like this, grasping their forearms. And we're going to post online on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you like, showing that you support a decentralized world. So we'll have a link or a post that we'll put in the comments. You can copy that post, paste it with your photo, and then challenge 3 other people. Tag 3 of your friends to also join you in the challenge. This is a great way for all of you to do online networking and meet other people that are here in our community. So, all right, gang. This has been an amazing session. We want to thank our sponsors, InstaChange, Cryptarium, Astra, for sponsoring all of this free education for us. Now, these free videos are going to come down, I think, this week. So if you want access to them, be sure to grab the first package that I mentioned, the records package. And gang, I just want to find out, would you like me to do the overall day review right now, speaking to those of us that are building the conference, or do you want us to take a break and I'll come back and do that? So please let me know. And Anjavin, go ahead, take care. Thank you so much for everything that you brought to us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Be well. Bye. All right, let's go on break. We'll come right back. I will summarize the day for you and make sure that you've got everything that you need to make the most out of today and to make tomorrow's conference amazing. We'll be back soon. Hang tight. Hello, Dana Garrison again, your crypto cat, coming to help you here build your knowledge and invest in yourself when it comes to blockchain and crypto, so you can be part of the revolution and also profit from this change that's happening in our world and be ahead of the curve. So I want to summarize what happened today in our conference. So today we had a pack of valuable information that helped guide us through the crypto world. In the first stream, we discussed the integration of finance and crypto. Austin Kim, COO and co-founder of Cryptarium, was talking about how crypto becomes the future of payments, right? Because soon we're going to be able to buy our Starbucks coffee and go grocery shopping with our crypto very easily. Vladislav Ponomarev, Ponomarev is the CBDO of Cryptarium Innovations, and he was explaining how exactly crypto is going to renew modern finance. Now, if you missed any of these videos, go back and catch the replays while they're live. They're only up for a short amount of time, and then if you want to own them, you can purchase them, and that way you can always go back and take notes and have the information. The next stream after that was devoted to crypto mining. So this is a rather new business that appeared only recently, but it's already attracted a lot of attention. And we had two speakers explaining the details of crypto mining and how it works. So that was Mike Smirnov, head of community at Astra, one of our lovely sponsors here. Thank you for sponsoring the conference and free education, as well as Alexei Zenkov, which is the project leader of Mining Now, AA exclamation point lab. And they were talking about all of the aspects of crypto mining in our modern world. And Mike Smirnov is sure that mining is going to be profitable for a long time and that miners will not have problems in the upcoming future. Now, the third stream was devoted to another important topic that connected us to government regulations around blockchain and what we need to be paying attention to. Vijay Angelo, the CEO of CryptoIndex.io, joined the conference with the topic of the future of crypto and regulatory influences. And then last but not least, just now we had Anyavin, the founder of Cointelligence, and he explained how to tell the good and viable crypto projects from the scam projects and gives you tips on how and what to look for when investing, especially in this downturn market. So this is our summary of today's topics. Tomorrow, we're going to have a lot of new topics for you. You can look online on our website to see what we'll be covering. Be sure to hop on and join us live. Chatting in the chat box is a great place for you to network and meet other folks. Remember, participate in our online networking through social media by posting that photo of yourself just like this, and then posting with the post that we give you, the little sentence that says, I support, crypto being strong, join us at newconference.info. And we're using certain hashtags so that people can find you and you can network online with them. Just remember to tag 3 of your friends and invite them to the challenge so that they also take a photo and join in on our online community so they can network on social media as well. All right, it's been such a pleasure being part of and guiding you today on downloading all of this knowledge in the crypto and blockchain space to help you grow and develop in the industry, make you a better investor, a better entrepreneur, and help you stay ahead of the curve and ahead of disruption in the tech industry and the enterprise industry. So have a great day. Have a great evening. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Until next time.
Keep us in line. We build the strongest mining company in the world. Tell us that it's impossible to earn money in honest ways. We have made a clear system where you can check every single Bitcoin exchange. Consider our solutions easy. We will invest 100% of your stock to buy equipment. Question the reliability of mining investment. We are ready to buy your share at any moment. Take our equipment. We are building mining farms all over the world and have an insurance fund. That way sudden losses won't affect our incomes. Think you decide nothing? We are building an active community where every opinion matters. Take your part in leading it by speaking up and giving your vote. Debate with us. We don't have offshores. Our public contract can be changed only if you wanted to. Criticize us. We have the cheapest equipment on the market, and the daily fee would cost you 14 cents US dollars terahash per second. Try to find an alternative. You'll be surprised. There is none.